Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. First of all, I want to say thank you for making out the time. We're talking on our way here
Mm-hmm.
about everything you've been going through, your family, and the families of, I would imagine now, hundreds of Nigerians are going through currently. But first of all, I would just like to ask you, how are you doing? How have you been?
Mm, I've been better
Mm.
currently, but I'm fine now. I'm okay.
Yeah, for those that don't know your story, that maybe they didn't watch the documentary or they're not privy to what has been going on, what made you who you are today, or what brought you to where you are today with the activism, with the what happened to your brother? So what is the whole story
Oh,
of what's been going
okay. Now
on?
you sound like my friend that says I'm an accidental activist. Okay, so Chijioke
Mm,
is my elder brother. Chijioke Iloanya is my elder brother. In November 2012, he was arrested at Ajali by the Ajali police officers at the police station, taken to the cell. So we got a call that he was arrested, and the next morning, my mom went to bail him out. First, my dad said he was not going to go because in my house there's a curfew. By 6, you're supposed to be in the house.
mm,
So if you're out after 6, you're on your own, according to my dad. So Chijioke was out after 6, obviously, and he was arrested. So my dad said, I'm not going to go. So my mom went to bail him out, and he told her that she can't effect the bail because she's a woman. And so she had to call her brother, her elder brother. Funny enough, that my uncle died last year. So while he was on his way to go get them, go get Chijioke released and help his sister, of course, they were then transferred. The boys, it wasn't just Chijioke, by the way, they were like a group of boys. They were then transferred to Akwuzu SARS, or at least that's what they told my mom, that they were being transferred to Akwuzu SARS. So my mom calls my dad. And now, if you know Akwuzu SARS in 2011, 2012, you know that they are very deadly. You don't want a
yeah.
loved one to like go there. So my mom told my dad that they said that transferring this boy to Akwuzu SARS, my dad had to act. He had to leave everything and start going to Akwuzu SARS. And my mom met with him there. They went in and met with James Swanford, who was the officer in charge then. He was an ASP then, but he retired as a CSP. So when they met with him, he said that the boys were not transferred to his station, nobody was brought to his station. So my parents were confused. Were they brought here or not? So they left and went to the SAS office at Nene and other police stations, went back to Ajali. They told them that we are very sure we transferred them to Okuzu SAS, and those are the people that picked them up. So they returned back to Okuzu, met with James and said the police officers at Ajali said that you guys picked the boys. This man denied and said nothing like that happened. As my parents were leaving his office, they saw my brother and other boys being led in, beaten, and they were in cuffs. So my mom started shouting, this is the boy we are looking for. Chijioke, what did you do? What happened? And Chijioke was just like shrugging and saying he doesn't know. According to my mom, they were already well beaten. And so when that happened, James asked the police officers to send my parents out of the station. So my parents left the station and then tried several times to get access to the station to know what Chijioke did, get food to him and all. The officers collected money from my parents to give him food, but they were not allowed to see him. After like 4 days, my mom then told my dad that maybe they should stop asking for Chijioke and ask to see James Swanford again. So they made an appointment to see him and he allowed them audience. So my parents came in. My dad said, please, we came because of that boy that we saw the other day. That's the boy. We are the parents. We want to know what is happening. Are they going to court? What did they do? He said, if it's those boys you're talking about, I've already killed them and there's nothing we can do. It's too late. I was like, too late. I mean, this is somebody's child. What are you saying? We saw him just a few days ago. I said, yeah, that they are dead. And there was nothing they could do. And so my mom slumped. They had to rush her to the hospital. And then that started the whole journey to here. When my dad, when my parents came back, some people told my dad that it was a lie, that he probably didn't kill the boy, that he just wants them to make him an offer of
Mm,
money. So my dad tried to get access to him through lawyers to get to know how much he wanted. He didn't bite. He didn't like want to talk to lawyers. We had lawyers come take money from us, and it got to nowhere. So my dad sold our land and then took the money, that's about 3 million, in a bag, and went to meet him and say, so we are ready to pay, and this is the money we want to pay. Like, we want to know if we can get this boy back. And he's like, but I told you people that the boy is dead, and even if he's not dead, this money is too small. And then my parents came back. So my parents are like, okay, so if he's dead, we need like his dead body so we can do burial. And it's like, get out. I don't have to talk to you people. I don't have any business with you people. So we started looking for Chijioke's dead body then. Because then we are in limbo. Is he really dead? Because people say, oh, maybe the money people went with is small. But we don't have a lot either. We don't have a lot of money to give, right? And we are willing to give what we had. And he said it was too small. Okay, fine. If he's dead, just give us the dead body so we can bury. As is normal Igbo tradition.
Yeah.
When someone dies, you bury the person and get the buried. And he didn't. Which was why when in January 2013, when dead bodies were found in Izu River, and they said that they were from SARS, my dad had to go and turn the dead bodies, trying to find if Chijioke was amongst them, so we can take his body and bury. A lot of other people tried to get their loved ones, if they were there, and bury. But Chijioke was not amongst those corpses. And it continued until I decided to like, we went through series of things, went to human rights people, they collected money from us, said they were going to help us get access to Chijioke. Nothing came out of it. Different lawyers took money from my parents. I was gradually getting frustrated at this point, but there was really nothing I could do. First thing, I was quite young then, and I was living with my parents, and my parents were really scared of James Swanford. They were in perpetual fear of him, of speaking out, and with the whole there is this thing in Anambra or in Oka, well, where we grew up, where anybody that is arrested by the police is already presumed guilty.
Yeah.
You then have to live with the guilt and shame of your child being arrested by the police and all of that. So we are walking on eggshells, so to say. Until then, I moved to Abuja for my NYSC. I came to Abuja in 2018 for my NYSC. And in 2019, I was watching a documentary, When They See Us. It's an American documentary, very tear-jerking documentary. And it was depicting police, racial injustice, and even socioeconomic injustice, right? So it made me like reflect on what happened to us. If we are from maybe a richer family, maybe what happened to Chijioke would not have happened. If we were maybe from a more influential family, even if we don't have the money, but we had the name, maybe what happened to Chijioke would not happen. So I was really pained that night, and I decided to like make the first tweet about it. And I made that tweet, and it got a lot of people reaching out to me, trying to help, but nothing came out of it. Police CCRU, or BCPRU reached out to me, gave me a number and said that that's my case number. They would get back. I tried my best to get back to them to know what the case number means. How do I track this case? Nothing came out of it. 2020, in July 2020, I saw James Swanford's tweet on Twitter where he was telling people to join the police academy. And I lost it. This guy was not an exemplary police officer. He's someone who looked a parent in the eye and said, I've killed your son and there's nothing you can do about it. He's obviously he's everything bad with the Nigerian police. He doesn't deserve to ask people to join the police academy. He's not a good ambassador of the academy. So I lost it. So I quoted his tweet and called him out and called him a monster. I told him that he's very wicked and all, and see what he had done to my brother. And that got a lot more attention, right? A lot more people were very interested. And I actually lost it so much that I didn't limit myself to Twitter. I went to my Facebook and I called him out, tagged him, tagged his family members. I could say I doxed him anyways. I'm like, you people, are his family members. You eat from the same plate with him, and you don't tell him how wicked he is and how much of an evil monster he is to have done this to my family and to countless other families and all of that. And he deactivated his Twitter and his social media, and there were a lot of people clamoring now to like get to the root of what happened. People were reaching out to me, and all of that. And then in September, I got arrested by the police. They said I was out late, but when my lawyer reached out and my parents, I called my dad, he helped, and I got out. Then October, EndSars happened, and it triggered a series of things.
Yeah.
James Manford got sacked because all this while James Manford was being called out and all his evil were being told, not just my story, there were so many other stories of what James Manford had done as an officer in the police and at Akwuzu SARS. He was still at that point, as at 2019, 2020, working with the Anambra State government as an essay on security or something for the Obianuju administration. So it was during the EndSars protests that Anambra people protested to the government house, and then he was sacked from his position, and that was it. Panel happened. He was asked to come to the panel. He refused to come to the panel, and so at the panel, the police legal rep said that my brother was an armed robber that was arrested, brought to Akwuzu SARS, and then he was questioned between that November and December and January. He was questioned, and then he confessed to being an armed robber, and and then he told them where his gang stays, the location of his gang, and then he took the police to the location of his gang, and his gang opened fire on the police, and in exchange of fire, my brother was hit, and he was taken to Nnamdi Azikiwe Teaching Hospital at Nnewi, and he died. I'm like, okay, this is a very silly story, which I don't know how to begin to explain how silly it is. Because first things first, if my brother was arrested as an armed robber, you don't need to interrogate him to get more answers. He's an armed robber. Prosecute him. That's the next option. You didn't. Then Nigeria has signed the anti-torture policy a long time ago. The Anti-Torture Act is in effect a long time ago. But you people so-called interrogated him up until between November and December. Then he confessed to being an armed robber. We might want to know the kind of interrogation that happened that did not allow him access to his parents, to a lawyer. Nobody was there to confirm or deny that he did say that he was an armed robber, right? And you didn't allow him access to anybody. You told his parents that he was already dead. According to James Manford, my brother was already dead. As at early December, he told my parents that this boy was already dead, and there's nothing we can do about it. But from the police legal rep, my brother was alive until January 16th, when he was killed in the crossfire between the police and his gang. Okay, so if an armed robber was arrested, his gang would move base. But okay, so let's agree that they didn't. He has already told you that he's an armed robber. He has told you where his base is at. You're supposed to go there without him.
Yeah.
Right? So you take him, a handcuffed criminal, an armed robber that is handcuffed in your custody. What was he doing in the crossfire then? And no police officer was hot in this crossfire except my brother. And you take him to Nnamdi Azikiwe Teaching Hospital and he died. But then Nnamdi Azikiwe says that they never got a dead body. They never got anybody of that sort. So you find that this was hard to swallow for
There were
us.
so many inconsistencies.
Yeah, there's so many inconsistencies,
Yeah.
of course. So this was quite hard for us to swallow. And that was like the dead end we met at the panel. We were waiting there for the panel to give their recommendations, because even that admittance of arresting my brother, him dying in their custody, is enough crime on the part of the police. Why is the boy in your custody more than he was supposed to? How did he die? Where is this dead body and all of that? So we're waiting for the panel recommendation or feedback so we can then work with it. We never got that. Up till now, the panel recommendations have remained private, and I don't know why. See, they submitted to the Anambra State government. Great, that's good. But why are they also not making it public? The Lagos State panel's recommendation is public. Make it public so people can know what people decided, but we don't know. So that led me to start the Where is Chijioke campaign.
Yeah.
Like, if Chijioke is dead, where is the dead body? If Chijioke is alive, where is he? But the Where is Chijioke campaign is not necessarily for Chijioke alone, because if you went to the Anambra State panel for police brutality and SARS, whatever, there were over 120 cases. There, of course, more than 100 of them were all indicting James Nwafo. There are loads of families who have also experienced what we experienced with Chijioke's issue. There are lots. The stories are uncountable, and the stories are gory. You might think that my story is painful, but there are stories that you would hear, and you'll be shocked. Like, what is this wickedness? What is this evil? And that is what the police like represents to me: evil, wickedness, unfeeling. The police in Nigeria acts like they are not human beings with blood flowing through their veins themselves. So I started the Where is Chijioke campaign, where I ask for answers for Chijioke and every other person who have been a victim of police and SARS brutality. Why is the Nigerian police not being investigated? Why are they not doing proper investigation and fishing out these so-called bad officers and giving justice and closure to families? It's unfair to stay in limbo. So, like, that's how I came to
Yeah.
be here.
And this happened in 2011, you said?
2012.
2012. So this is like 11 years from now?
Yeah.
And nothing from the police about where your brother is?
None.
He was your last, not was, because we don't know, I'm sorry, but he's your last born, right?
No.
First,
He's the second
He's
child.
second.
Is older than me.
okay. I can't begin to wrap my head around this because as a Nigerian myself, obviously, we all know how bad the police is in Nigeria. I think most Nigerians have had an encounter one way or the other. Whether it's the lady in Lagos, the pregnant lady that was killed by a drunk police officer on her way back
Christmas
from
period.
church. Yeah. Whether it's your brother, whether
lawyer.
it's she was a lawyer. Whether it's hundreds of cases in Lagos State, in Anambra State, like you said, Anambra is you called it the
Ground zero.
ground zero for police brutality.
Yes.
Whether it's in other states as well, and most importantly, the cases that we never get to hear about.
Yeah. Lots
Because-
of cases you will never,
Yeah.
that will never probably have the public eye on
Yeah.
it.